You know, some mornings start off so quiet, so normal, you'd never guess they're about to change your life forever. I was sitting at my kitchen table in Willow Creek, Tennessee, sipping black coffee, flipping through a stack of mail, when I saw it an envelope from the local HOA. Thick, official, the kind that screams trouble. My gut twisted as I tore it open, and when I read the words, Notice of Unauthorized Sale of Property, I swear my heart stopped. My family's 2,000 acres land we've held onto for 3 generations, where I used to run through the fields as a kid, where my granddad taught me to fish in the creek, it was gone. Sold. Without my permission, without a single word to me, to some shady developer. I read it 3 times, hands shaking, coffee going cold, thinking there's no way this is real, no way they could do this. I'm Ellie Harper, by the way, just a regular woman who loves her land, her roots, and maybe a good fight when it's worth it. That morning, I wasn't just mad, I was livid, the kind of anger that burns low and steady, like a fire you can't put out. This wasn't just about dirt and trees. It was about my family, my memories, everything I'd fought to keep alive. So I grabbed my phone, called my lawyer, Tom, a guy who's been untangling property messes for me since I inherited the place. Tom, I said, voice shaking, they sold my land. Illegally. We're not letting this slide. He was calm, like always, told me to come to his office the next day, but I could hear the edge in his voice and knew this was big. That night, I barely slept, pacing my creaky old farmhouse, thinking about the HOA with those self-important suits who'd been a thorn in my side since I moved back to Willow Creek. They were always nitpicking, finding folks for stupid things like unmowed lawns or unapproved mailbox colors. But this was a whole new level of dirty. By morning, I was in Tom's office, slamming that letter on his desk, demanding answers. He leaned back, glasses perched on his nose, and said, Ellie, this is bad, but we can fight it. We need records, county files, HOA documents, everything. I nodded, feeling a spark of hope, but also something else, a plan forming, sharp and dangerous. If they thought they could steal from me and walk away, they were about to meet the wrong woman. Over the next few weeks, we dug deep. Tom pulled strings at the county recorder's office, got the sale records, and what we found made my blood boil. The HOA, led by this smug guy named Victor Klein, had bypassed every rule in the book, forged signatures, ignored notices, and sold my land for pennies to a developer buddy of theirs. But here's the kicker. Mine wasn't the only property. They'd been quietly flipping prime lakefront lots around Willow Creek Gorgeous, million-dollar parcels for years, pocketing the difference to cover their own mismanaged funds. Victor and his cronies were living large, throwing fancy dinners, while people like me were losing everything. That's when I got a call from an old friend, Maggie, who used to sit on the HOA board before she quit in disgust. Her voice was shaky over the phone. Ellie, be careful. They're not just selling land theory and deep with some big players. Developers, even politicians. They're using the money to keep themselves untouchable. I sat there, stunned, piecing it together. This wasn't just about my 2,000 acres, Anna Maria, it was a full-blown scam, and I was going to burn it to the ground. Here's where things get wild. I didn't just want my land back. I wanted to hit them where it hurt. So I started playing their game smarter. Tom and I found out the HOA owned a string of lakefront properties, worth about $8 million, that they hadn't sold yet. I knew people, real estate folks, developers with deep pockets would jump at the chance to buy those lots. So, with Tom's help, I lined up buyers, made sure every deal was airtight, legal as hell, and sold those properties right out from under Victor's nose. The best part? I funneled every cent into a trust fund for the community to fix the damage the HOA had done. And then, just to twist the knife, I sent their shady financial records to the local paper. The story broke like a dam bursting. Headlines screamed, Willow Creek HOA caught in million-dollar fraud. The town went nuts. People were calling me, thanking me, saying they'd been screwed over by Victor's crew for years. But Victor? Oh, he was pissed. I got a call one night, his voice dripping with venom. You think you're clever, Ellie? You're gonna regret this. We've got friends you can't touch. I laughed, couldn't help it. Victor, you stole my land. You made this personal. Good luck keeping up. He hung up, but I knew he wasn't bluffing. Things were about to get ugly. And they did. A few nights later, I got home to find a crowd outside my house, protesters, waving signs calling me a liar, a troublemaker, screaming that I was tearing the community apart. I stood on my porch, heart pounding, watching neighbors I'd known my whole life turn on me, fed lies by the HOA. Then came the threats, anonymous calls, letters slipped under my door. One night, I found an envelope with a photo of me on my porch, taken from the bushes, with a note. Stop now, or you lose everything. My hands shook, but I wasn't backing down. They'd crossed a line, and I was done playing nice. Then it got personal, real personal. My sister, Clara, called me one evening, voice trembling. Ellie, they came to my house. 2 guys in suits, saying if I keep helping you, I'll lose my job, my home, everything. I drove to her place, rage burning through me. When I got there, those 2 goons were still lingering by her driveway, all smug and polished. I marched up, got in their faces. You think you can scare my family? Get the hell off her property. The taller one smirked, leaned in close. You're making enemies you can't handle, Harper. This isn't over. I held his gaze, didn't flinch. You're damn right it's not. You're messing with the wrong family. That's when I knew this was bigger than me, bigger than my land. Tom and I dug deeper, and we hit gold, a folder from a former HOA insider, Nate, who'd had enough of their games. It was a jackpot. Emails, bank records, names of politicians they'd paid off to look the other way. Victor's crew wasn't just stealing land, they were laundering money, buying influence, running Willow Creek like their personal piggy bank. I handed it all to a journalist friend, Rachel, who'd been sniffing around the HOA for years. She took one look at the documents and said, Ellie, this is gonna blow the lid off everything. You ready for war? When Rachel's article dropped, Willow Creek HOA tied to political corruption and fraud, the town exploded. Social media lit up, news vans parked outside my house, and people started coming forward with their own stories of HOA scams. Victor and his buddies tried to fight back lawsuits, smear campaigns, even a desperate bankruptcy filing to dodge the fallout. But it was too late. The truth was out, and the feds were circling. Tom and I pushed for criminal charges: fraud, conspiracy, money laundering. The evidence was ironclad, and when the gavel came down, Victor and his inner circle were convicted, sent to prison, their empire in ashes. Standing on my land again, deed in hand, I looked out at the creek, the old oak tree, the fields I'd fought so hard for. It wasn't just about the land, Anna Maria, it was about standing up to bullies who thought they could take what's mine, what's ours. The HOA had tried to break me, threaten my family, turn my neighbors against me, but I didn't bend. I'd changed, though tougher, maybe a little harder, but prouder too. Willow Creek was healing. Families were getting their homes back, and the truth had won. But as I stood there, feeling the breeze, I couldn't shake one question. What happens when the next bully comes along? When the system tries to screw over someone else? That's what keeps me up at night. So what do you think? Was I right to take on the HOA like that, to risk everything, me family, my peace for justice? Or did I go too far, stirring up a war that left scars on everyone? Drop a comment. Tell me your take. Maybe share a story of your own run-in with a shady HOA or a fight you couldn't walk away from. Hit that like button if you're with me, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next, because trust me, there's always another fight around the corner.